Hey. I was trying to find some food to bring for tonight, and there's just a plethora of choices out there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And the only reason that I think it came to my attention is because before I went to the store, I actually saw a commercial for UNICEF. You know, these poor starving kids with bloated bellies, just really sad. But I think the thing that made it ridiculous is because immediately after that commercial was a commercial for Frosted Mini Wheats. It's like this smiling, dancing cereal jumping into a bowl. It seemed very inappropriate. It's like our way of saying, oh, Africa, sorry about all of your starving children. Not only does our food have its own commercial, but it's coated in sugar. Supersize me. Recently, I went through the drive-thru, and that's quite an experience, isn't it? This girl, she was like, yeah, can I help you? I'm like, can I get the number 2? She's like, do you want fries with that? It's your codes, it's your terminology. Do you not know I want fries with that? I certainly wasn't telling you what my next bathroom function is gonna be. Yeah, number 2, can do it all by myself now, thanks. Do you want fries with that? Yes, because that's what that activity has always been missing, is a good snack to go with it. Now they have the 2 speakers, which is supposed to speed things up, make it a lot easier for you. That's all good in theory, but I am petrified every time I pull up there. Because I'm in one lane, and it's always, inevitably, the person in the next lane over is like some 90-year-old woman in a Cadillac who can barely see over the steering wheel. I'm like just waiting for her to pop her eyes back up so I can move her on, you know? She's like, no, go ahead. Yes, please. By all means, go. No, go. And they're always messing with your mind when you go through the drive-thru. Like you hear one voice and they're like, hi, can I help you? And you're like, yeah, I'll take the number 2. Then a totally different voice comes on. And it's like, 823, please pull around. Am I still getting a quarter pounder? Because if I end up with curry, I'm not going to be happy. And then you get to the window and it's actually like some big burly black guy and he's like, 823, please. I gotta stop eating like that though. Yeah, everybody's on a health kick. They're all worried about what they're eating and stuff, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is weighing myself. I just don't see the point. Do I need a number to go with that? I can physically see the damage that I've done to myself. I don't need a number to go with it. It's not like people are still running up to my mom and going, how much does Laurie weigh? How much does Laurie weigh? Laurie's a big girl now. I mean, nobody's even volunteering to do raspberries on my belly. I don't have to worry about that stuff killing me, though. No. I have a worst case scenario mom. She's been trying to kill me since I was 2 years old. You know, like most kids, they come running in, you know, and they got a little sniffle. Most parents would be like, okay, she's got a cold or maybe allergies. Not my mom. No. My mom, worst case scenario. Oh my God, my baby has malaria. Worst case I've ever seen. You're a goner. I swear my mom talks like that too, by the way. You were my favorite. Like, no, really, it's okay. I have a sleeve. See, cured. We're good. I come running in with a hangnail. She's like, oh, saw this on 2020. You're a goner. I'm just glad we didn't have, like, WebMD when I was growing up. Come running in like, Mom, I dropped a brick on my toe and the toenail fell off. What do we do? Just a minute. We're going to have to cut it off. Sorry. But don't worry, I also Googled it. I think we can do it right here in the kitchen. And now I think that she's got my dad on board, trying to off me as well. It's my own fault, I brought it on myself. I came down into the kitchen one day, and my travel mug is sitting there right next to the sink. He's cleaned all the rest of the dishes in the house, but my travel mug is still sitting there. Sink full of soap suds. You think that he would touch that mug? I'm like, really? Like, why can't you wash my mug? He's like, oh, I'll take care of your mug. Don't you worry. So I come down the next day, sure enough, there it is, sitting in the strainer, like it's been cleaned. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Then I see him, and he's rinsing off chicken in the sink, and it's splashing onto my mug. I'm like, all right, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't see it. All right. Until he proceeds to rinse it directly over my mug. Go, okay, I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't notice it. It wasn't until I was convinced that he had teamed up with my mom when he took the chicken and actually shoved it in the cup like a Brillo pad. And under his breath, he's actually saying, how's that, princess? Is that clean enough for you now? But yeah, my mom is definitely worst case scenario person. You know, like when I was little, my teeth were kind of yellow. And most parents, they'd be like, okay, maybe you ate too much sugar, maybe you're not brushing enough, but not my mom. No, She's like, you've been smoking? You've been smoking, haven't you? She talks like this as well, I swear, okay? So you've been smoking, haven't you? You were smoking, just tell me you were smoking. You've been smoking, haven't you? You were smoking. I'm like, Mom, I'm 5. Maybe I ate too much Play-Doh. I don't know, okay? Of course, I've always been sarcastic, so my response probably wasn't the wisest. I'm like, no, Ma, I ain't been smoking. I was recently sick, though, and I had to text the brothers, let them know that I wasn't going to be at the meeting. So, you have 2 types of texters in this world. You have people that do it the right way, ones who are brief, concise, to the point, send it off using all of the abbreviations, the LOLs, the BFFs, that's the right way. I fall into that category usually. Then you have people who are like sending you novels, their last will and testaments. I don't care what you had for lunch, just get to the point. But I'm sick and I have to send off this text message, so I'm like, I'm not going to be at the meeting for I have a rather bad cough. Like, I don't even talk like that. Why am I texting like that? I have a rather bad cough. Could I be any more pretentious? I mean, why don't you just give me a piece of parchment and a quill? Dear friend, I shan't make it to the gathering this eve, for I've contracted the plague. Smiley face emoticon, send. I guess that's the Pony Express, I don't know. Yeah, I got in trouble for gesturing during one of my stories. Apparently my gestures are just a little too dramatic for people. This friend of mine, I'm telling the story, she interrupts my story. I'm like, I thought my mom was the only one who interrupted my stories. My mom, I can't get through a story without her interrupting me. She's like Doug from the movie Up. Squirrel! Oh, were you telling a story? I'm sorry, I love you. So I'm trying to tell this story, and I'm like, so I was driving down the road. My friend actually stops me, and she's like, whoa, wait, you were driving down the road? Did you kill everybody in your car driving like that? Really? Was it necessary to interrupt me with that? But yet later on, this same friend is telling a story, and she's like, so I was driving down the road. I'm like, now it's my turn. So you were driving down the road, were you, Jebediah? That's not driving, okay? Unless you're Amish. Like, at least in my scenario, I can imagine that maybe it's Grand Theft Auto, but I can imagine I'm in a Beamer. What are you driving over there? A cold black box that smells like horse manure? The only bling that's on it is a big orange triangle on the back? Don't interrupt my story. Grand Theft Auto. Anybody that knows me knows my latest kick is I like to watch cops. I'm addicted to cops. I know it's an old show, but my catchphrase for 2014 is going to be tase him. Tase him. I love watching it. If they had action figures, I would probably buy them. You know, like, this is meth dealer, And this is his best friend, drives under the influence. And they're getting into a car that they borrowed. Oh, but how nice. Look, they picked up that homeless man. Comes complete with his own bag of cans. Well, boys and girls, let's see how this is all gonna play out, huh? Oh, that Barbie car didn't stand a chance, did it? Officer Ken's gonna be mad. But I love watching it. It's ridiculous to watch it, you know, like they had this one on there and this poor guy, he's like the innocent victim here, but they handcuff the innocent guy and they handcuff the bad guys as well. So here's this poor innocent guy, and he's got the handcuffs on, but he insists on telling his story and trying to gesture with these handcuffs on, his hands behind his back, you know? He's like, okay, so I went into the beer store and I got a 6-pack, which is 5 plus 1, okay? And these 2 guys came at me with knives and I dropped my beer. He looked like a T-Rex, okay? I was like, sir, why didn't you drink your beer? Because I have a big head and little arms. So he's like, oh, and then they pulled a gun on me, and I was like, whoa. And every single story that's on there, everybody's like, they find drugs, they're like, that's not mine. That is not mine. I swear to God, it's not mine. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's not mine. One of these times, I just want to see one of the cops be like, oh, guys, it's not hers. Awkward. Stand down. She swears to God it's not hers. Let's go. Really sorry that we barged in here like this, and I apologize again for tasing your husband, but don't worry, that urine should come right out of the carpet, okay? All right, thank you. That's my time.